Hi, today I'll be sharing with you how to build a RAG pipeline and a RAG agent. The question is, what exactly is RAG? RAG is Retrieval Augmented Generation and basically is a foundation for most chatbots or all form of video or text chat interfaces that are built on website and solutions. This is a foundation of how a lot of solutions are built that you interact with from day to day, and I'll be doing it with you in few minutes. Yeah. So what you can see here is a RAG pipeline. A RAG pipeline here consists of you being able to ingest your information into some certain files, and I'll be building on Anything here. On Anything, what we do here is we start by getting a trigger, and this trigger basically is to build a pipeline where you store all the data within your system. So for example, an organization would like to have all their knowledge base stored into a drive. You want to build a drive to search for that file, right? And then you then download that file, and then you put a set of loop here. The loop is just in case there are a whole lot of chunk of files and you want those files to be going into to be downloaded, and then you need to use it in a vector store. I'll be explaining what a vector store is. The vector store basically is you breaking down the documents that you have within this drive into smaller chunks, and then it is stored in form of binaries in numeric formula, in numeric format, where the AI that will be taking this information in here will understand. When it moves this um, all the files in here into this Pinecone vector store. We'll be using Pinecone vector store today. Then you load the data in there, and then you want to split the text in such a way that they can be recursive enough to see each other. When you set all of this done and you set up this pipeline, this RAG pipeline, this will be the foundation for you then to start interacting. In terms of interaction, like in ChatGPT, what you see is all the interactions that are taking place actually done in a vector store. So there's a vector store that stores all those information, and then the AI is interacting, but an AI needs to go embed this information. Think of it like you going to the store and going to the store to buy items, and when you come, you then want to get to move it into your own store in a way you understand. So this is you trying to move everything into your store in a place where you understand, so that anytime you interact with it with the RAG agent like this, every time you ask a question, this agent together with the brain and the memory is able to interact with this vector store and give you some information. So today I'll be showing you how to build this solution. And first off, I need to explain to you what a Pinecone vector store. The Pinecone vector store is another solution that I would like to introduce to you. I'm going to go right into it. Pinecone. So you look for Pinecone online, and then you see the pinecone.io. Pinecone vector store. This is where you can then create an account. I have an account already, so I'll be just going into my account here. And in this account, you are able to build an index. An index is where you store all this information. Creating an index will be, once you start, you can call the index any name. So think of an index like, let's call it and training. Yeah. Don't put any space, everything together. And then when you want to move, you move by choosing a the you're getting the embeddings, which is the open air embeddings. I like 3 small because it's easy for you to embed all this data that you're ingesting from your Google Drive into this place. So, and then you can come in here and change the dimension to a larger one, so you're able to process it easily. And once you come serverless, leave everything the way it is, and just click on create index, and then it creates your index for you. Now, the question is, how then do I integrate this into N8N so I'm able to interact with it? What you need to do is you need to come in here, and you see API keys at the side. You have API keys at the side. Once you click on API keys, you can create an API key. Let's say call your API key N8N training, and then you just create API key. This API key, once you copy this API key, you come back into N8N, and when you are in here, you then need to create a credential. I already have a credential here, so you come in here and create a new credential, paste the API key here, save it, and then once you do that, your API key is in good shape, and then you can use it. Whatever document, whatever index you have created in here, which could be this index, for example, on that database, that's where you find the index with N8N training. If I'm going to come back in here and I check in here now, if I look in here, I'll be able to see N8N training, which is the index that we want to use. And once you have this in there, everything is sorted. Your drive is pretty easy for you to connect your drive. Once you open this index, just the node, you come in here, and then you need to get the client ID and the secret, client secret. I have another video that I posted that shows how you can get this, so you can check some of my older videos and how it is done, and then you can get all of this, how you get this information I put in here. Once this is done, over here in the embeddings, remember we chose 3 small. So you choose your, for those of you who are new to OpenAI, the OpenAI, you need to come in here and click on create credentials. On OpenAI, you need to check an old video that I posted before. You copy the API key and just come put in here, and you might need to find your OpenAI, and then choose 3 small, which is what we embedded within Pinecone. And once you've done this, the default data loader, and then this is binary, since you might have a mix of word, text, pictures, and all of that. So choosing binary might be the best approach. And under the recursive, you will see normally 100 and 0 here. So I just put 20, so there can be some overlap of the applications in there. And once you've done this, all you just need to do is hit on the trigger to kickstart it. When you hit on the trigger, all of this begins to do, and the chunking takes place, and it goes in here. Now, these loop that we have here is basically to understand that every time you keep sending, you need to keep sending. So keep sending the file in there if there are multiple files. So you might need to connect this back here. This is this way because we did not connect it to a particular item. So I'm going to look at, let's get the anytime training we just did now. Yeah, and then let us check in the drive. What document are we looking for? So there's a document already here. Yeah. And then we want to save. Every time you make a change, just save. So click on this, and then everything gets loaded into the Pinecone vector store. So it's successfully loaded in Pinecone vector store now. Setting these up, you do the connect, you connect this, get these agents in here, and then you have all of this set up. After you have all of this set up with the answer questions from vector, this is the best way to use this node, because you will have problems if you connect this agent directly to this vector store. And then what you just need to do in here is you come in here. Yeah, once you want to set this up, you set up this agent, put this in, and the simple memory, this is your brain. Remember, we've done that with the previous one, which is your, and then you put the simple memory, you look for this and attach it in here. I'm going to show you how to do that in a bit. Pinecone, and then the embeddings AI, and then you put an open AI chat model. And anytime you have a quick chat with it now, once you come in here, but let's check that is the right vectors that we connected. So it's not the right one, so I'm going to look for the right one now, so we know we are talking to the anytime training. Yeah, and so every other thing looks good. So once I say hi over here at the bottom, yeah, and then all of these agent begins to rotate, and then I get the response. Hello, how can I assist you with your tender analysis? Because what we're building is a tender analysis agent that can interact with you, so I can then have conversations with it on things about the tender. Okay, what are the most important facts about the tender? And once I do this, it goes in there, do all of this, and then comes back with your response for me. And in the real world, what people will do is you will not share this with the client. What you need to do is to it gives all this information out. What you just need to do is come in here, and then from here you can expose this URL in case you want to integrate it into a solution and you don't want it hosted. You can come in and embed it, and then you go embed it in a solution that can be used. But if you don't want to do this and you want to connect it to an interface, you disconnect, and then you create a new trigger by clicking on this plus sign over here, and then over here you look for the webhook. So probably you want to connect it to another solution, external solution. Come in here, and then you change this to post, and then you get this, and then this is what you then connect in here. So you can have 2 different connectors, either this for an external interface, this for you chatting directly with it over here. Whichever way you think is best fit, then you can do this. So how do we build this from scratch? Quite easy. I'm just going to do the structure, and then you can set it up yourself. So back here, I'm coming back to the beginning of anything. Open a new, then a new canvas. You start by clicking on this. You click on the manual trigger, which is we're duplicating that. Then we look for drive. Remember, I've integrated drive, so I'm going to Google Drive. The first thing I want you to do is to search for the document. So I'm going to look for search for document here. So this is set for files and folders, and I'm gonna have to set all of this up using my details, right? Once I set it up, you can watch the video on how I set this up in the previous video. Then from the drive, the next thing you want to do is from the drive, you want it to download the file. So you want to download that file inside the. Then from here, the next thing you want to do is connect it to the Pinecone vector store. Look for Pinecone vector store. And then what you want to do is add this document to vector store. And then this is in. Then you want to embed. Remember that three smalls from OpenAI that we chose. So you look for three small here. Excuse me. Next thing you want to do is add the data loader. When you enter data loader, in order for you to make it a little bit custom, it's opened up a text splitter in here. Then you connect your recursive text splitter in here. Once this is done, the next thing is you want to go into your drive and upload the document. So if you have a document in here, you want to search, but don't be tempted. Don't touch anything here. You want it to return all, but over here, you need to come here and click on folder, and then you look for the folder inside the drive. Let's assume the name of the folder is awards. You put the awards in here, and then when they execute, you're going to see the document is here with an ID. Come back here. Under the download here, still looking for the same document. Under the file, you leave a file, but this time we need the ID for that document. So you just pull this ID and bring it in here, and that connects it back in here. And then for Pinecone vector, so one connect to the Pinecone. Let's assume there's a new Pinecone. We want to integrate that into the solution there. So I'm going to come in here, look for one of my Pinecone store, and I'm going to connect it to that anytime training, but this will mess up the vector store. But anyways, we just want to get all of this in there. Leave it this way. This is just for training purpose anyway. Come in here, embeddings, leave it at 3 small, and I'm connecting this to my AI and default loader. Everything is looking good. Under here, JSON, change it to binary because you don't know the type of document that are coming in there. So leave it on binary. And then after you do this, this one looks good. You can change this to 200 if you want to, so that it can overlap. So this is it. We build this. You want the chunk, hit it, and all of this happens. Sorry, something has gone wrong here. Let's see what has gone wrong in here. Credentials. I think we have the wrong credentials. So let me check. I think I have too many credentials here. My apologies. Just ignore. File folder. So we want to file. Upload data. Oh, sorry, we're downloading. Sorry, download, and then everything comes in here. Yeah, so execute just to see that it doesn't have it. So there's something wrong with my file here. I need to check what exactly is happening. I think I have the wrong one. Let me go back to my previous one just to see. I'm going to save this and go back to my previous one and see which one I used in here. Yeah, this is the right one. Yeah, right one. So let's go back. I'm going back in here now. And on the download, I have the same file download. And I'm going to move the ID over here. So over here, we're going to trigger it one more time. So just a minute, we'll see what the problem is now. Folder. Yeah. Folder name, so drive. So I think we have the awards exception. So let's just do this. Just be sure. So it's pulled out. Everything is over here now. So I have it in here, and I think we can trigger it one more time. So it goes into the Pinecone. I think we made a mistake by picking up on the wrong one. So we have it integrated into the Pinecone. For multiple, when you have multiple documents in here, then you can disconnect this, create a loop, come in here and create a loop. You get a loop and you want it to be going in a batch of a loop. You bring it here and then you disconnect this other one that you have around the loop. There's some other ones here. Just disconnect this and then connect this loop back into this one. Delete this. We don't need this. Delete this. And for multiple items, you just connect the loop back to the back of the loop. And then you've created your pipeline. Once you've done this, the next one that you need to do is then that RAG agent. You come in here, I start by creating by clicking on another chat. This is a chat interface. Switch this on. You can call the name of your chat Ben or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And I'm going back. And this is it over here connected to my AI agent. This my AI agent then needs to have a system message of how to interpret the type of things you should be doing. This is where I put the system message in here. And I want to give it a brain. Give it a brain. I'm going to give it OpenAI as a brain. I'm going to choose my memory. I'm going to choose my memory, which is simple memory. And then I go into the tool. Under the tool, I need to get a way that this agent is able to answer in vector store. So I click on this tool and I look for answer. Yeah, so vector store answer question tool. And I say answer all questions from the vector store. Yeah. And come back here, and all I need to do now is add the vector store, which is a Pinecone vector store. And my Pinecone vector store needs to be added. And I choose my Pinecone vector, which is the init. Yeah, and then what then do I do next? I need to add the model. So the model I need to do is pick the OpenAI, and then I can pick my credentials that I set. And then I can click on the embeddings that I have in here. So the embeddings I have in here is OpenAI. Remember, it's 3 smalls. So I'm going to use 3 smalls. So basically, we've just replicated everything in here. And this is it. Everything is exactly the way it is. And I can start by just doing a simple chat and by saying, hi. And it responds to me based on information in the vector store. Now I've not put any system message in there, but it can respond to me. If I need any information vector store, so I can ask how is or what is the award about, because that's what I put in there. What's the award about? And then it looks into the information, comes back and it gives me yeah, so it needs me to give more context of what it's looking for, but it is looking into it and it recognizes. So for those of you who like to learn more about this, please click like, follow, and then you get more feedback. You get a lot of comments coming from us, or videos like this coming from us, and watch other videos that we've posted so you can learn as much as possible. See you on the next one. Bye.